Good afternoon and welcome to Midday News on Rajya Sabha television. Complete roundup of the biggest news stories from India and across the world coming up in the next 30 minutes at the top of one. First up, the headlines. Opposition engaged in strategy to make unsubstantiated allegations, says Prime Minister Modi. In interaction with the BJP booth-level workers in 5 constituencies, asserts lies won't hold before realities of government work. Says all sections of society have equal right over resources in the country. Supreme Court directs states to amend Motor Accident Claims Tribunal rules to compensate accident victims. Directs the selling of uninsured vehicles involved in accidents. Gives 12 weeks to make necessary changes. Two terrorists killed in encounter in Baramulla in Jammu and Kashmir. Encounter had broken out between terrorists and security forces in Sopore this morning. Two more gold medals in India's kitty at the World Shooting Championship in South Korea. Victories in junior men's 25-meter pistol event and team event. India placed fourth in the medals tally with 24 medals, including 9 gold. And 10-day-long Ganesh Chaturthi celebrations underway. Devotees queue up at Mumbai's famous Ganesh pandals to see the elephant god in all his grandeur. President, Vice President and Prime Minister greet people on the occasion. Prime Minister Narendra Modi today addressed BJP's booth-level cadres through his app, and the interaction took place with the booth-level cadres of 5 chosen constituencies today. These are Jaipur Rural, Hazaribagh, Nevada, Arunachal West and Ghaziabad. And during the interaction, the Prime Minister said that the government's work on the ground is a reality that the booth-level workers must take to the voters. He said that the opposition is spreading lies that needs to be countered with facts.
जितना हम स्पष्टता के साथ जनता से जुड़ेंगे, उतने ही साफ राय हमारे प्रति, पार्टी के प्रति बनेगी। विपक्ष का झूठ हमारी सच्चाई, हमारे तथ्यों के सामने उनका झूठ कभी नहीं टिक पाएगा। जनता के सामने वोट डालते समय कोई भ्रम नहीं रहेगा। ऐसे लोग रहते ही रहते हैं जिनको अपने स्वार्थ के सिवाय किसी चीज की परवाह नहीं होती है और वो अच्छे कामों से डरते हैं। उनको अंधियारा इतना अच्छा लगता है कि वो उजाले को दोष देने लग जाते हैं और इसलिए उनके डर के पीछे तो कारण साफ है। भाजपा सरकार सिर्फ नारे नहीं गढ़ती है, उन्हें धरातल की वास्तविकता तक ले जाती है। सबका साथ, सबका विकास, ये हमारे लिए सिर्फ और सिर्फ नारा कभी नहीं था, नहीं है। ये हमारा प्रेरणा मंत्र है। समाज का हर वर्ग, देश का हर कोना, समाज का हर तबका, ये हमारा अपना है और इसीलिए हमारा मानना है कि देश का विकास तभी हो सकता है जब सबका साथ हो, सबका विकास हो।
The Prime Minister also said that every citizen of the country has the right over resources and that the BJP government is working for the development of all sections.
संसाधनों पर सभी का समान हक है, न किसी का अधिक, न किसी का कम। अब देखिए, सौभाग्य योजना से बिजली रामेश्वर के घर में भी पहुंची, वहां पर भी पहुंच रही है। तो सौभाग्य योजना अंधेरे में गुजारा कर रहे रहमान के घर में भी उजाला करती है, रतिंदर के घर में भी उजाला करती है और रॉबर्ट के घर में भी उजाला करके अंधेरे को छटा रही है। उज्ज्वला के तहत जो 5 करोड़ से अधिक गरीब बहनों को मुफ्त में गैस कनेक्शन मिला है, वो मुफ्त का गैस पाने वाली कोई मेरी बहन सरिता भी है, तो कोई मेरी बहन सबीना भी है, तो कोई मेरी बहन सोफिया भी है। मुद्रा योजना के तहत 13 करोड़ से अधिक लोन पाने वाले हर भाई बहन, हर जाति से, हर पंथ से, हर इलाके से, हर संप्रदाय से है। देश के नए बन रहे आधुनिक एक्सप्रेसवे, स्वास्थ्य, साफ सुथरे स्वच्छ रेलवे स्टेशन, अनेक शहरों में बन रही मेट्रो में कोई जाति पूछ करके दौरा होता है क्या? अगड़ा पूछ कर होकर के होता है क्या? देश के जिन 50 करोड़ के गरीबों तक को आयुष्मान भारत योजना का लाभ मिलेगा, वो जाति पंथ से नहीं बल्कि गरीबी की स्थिति से तय किए गए हैं।
On to the other top story this afternoon. The Supreme Court has ordered all states to amend the Motor Accident Claims Tribunal's rules. In a decision today, the Supreme Court ordered all the states to amend the Motor Accident Claims Tribunal rules to make it mandatory to sell uninsured vehicles involved in an accident in order to compensate the victim. The Supreme Court has directed all the states to implement the rule within 12 weeks. Currently, this rule is applicable only in Delhi. The Health Ministry has banned the manufacture for sale or distribution of 328 fixed-dose combination drugs with immediate effect. Fixed-dose combination drugs, or the FDCs, are 2 or more drugs combined in a fixed ratio into a single dosage form. In March 2016, the Health Ministry had prohibited the manufacture of 349 FDCs, but this matter was contested by the affected manufacturers in the court. However, an expert panel formed last year in a report said that the ingredients in 328 FDCs involve risks to human beings and recommended that these drugs must be prohibited from manufacture and sale. In a relief to farmers, the government on Wednesday gave its approval to the new procurement policy for crops. The decision was taken in the cabinet meeting headed by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The cabinet also approved proposal to electrify last leg of more than 13,000 route kilometers of railway tracks. The process, that is likely to be completed by 2021-22, is expected to save a fuel bill to the carrier of over 13,500 crore rupees per annum.
The centre on Wednesday announced a new scheme to ensure that farmers growing pulses and oilseeds benefit from higher minimum support prices announced by the government recently. Named Pradhan Mantri Annadata Aay Sanrakshan Abhiyan, the new scheme will be a mix of sub-schemes that will involve direct procurement from farmers under Price Support Scheme or PSS, paying them for losses incurred when wholesale market prices are lower than announced MSPs under Price Deficiency Payment Scheme or PDPS, and procurement by private traders at MSP. The centre has provided 16,550 crore rupees as bank guarantee for its agencies to directly procure from farmers under PSS.
वास्तव में किसानों की आय की संरक्षा में भारत सरकार द्वारा ये ऐतिहासिक कदम उठाया गया है तथा आशा की जाती है कि इस कदम से लंबे समय तक किसानों का कल्याण होता रहेगा। इस स्कीम में किसानों के लिए लाभकारी मूल्य सुनिश्चित करने तथा तंत्र विकसित सहित मूल्य समर्थन योजना, भावांतर योजना और पायलट निजी खरीद एवं स्टॉकिस्ट योजना शामिल है।
The cabinet also approved raising prices at which oil marketing companies will buy ethanol from sugar mills at 59.13 rupees per litre, up from 47.13 rupees per litre. It also approved an over 25% hike in the price of ethanol produced directly from sugarcane for blending in petrol.
गन्ना किसानों को राहत मिले, इसीलिए शुगर इंडस्ट्री स्टेबलाइज हो। सिर्फ शुगर नहीं, देश की इंपोर्ट डिपेंडेंसी भी घटे, एथेनॉल प्रोडक्शन बढ़े। इसके कारण हमारे देश की शुगर केन इंडस्ट्री में एक नई उछाल आएगी। देश की ट्रांसपोर्ट इंडस्ट्री में किसानों की उपज लिंक होगा।
The Cabinet Committee on Economic Affairs approved electrification of remaining unelectrified broad gauge routes of Indian Railways. Under this, 13,000 km of unelectrified routes will be electrified at a cost of 12,000 crore rupees. Panchanan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
On to some other news. According to the data released by the Central Statistics Office on Wednesday, the industrial production grew at 6.6% in July on the back of good performance by the manufacturing sector and higher offtake of capital goods and consumer durables. Factory output measured in the terms of industrial production had expanded by just 1% in July last year. The IIP growth for June was also revised downwards to 6.8% from the provisional estimate of 7% released last month. The manufacturing sector recorded a 7% growth in July as against a contraction of 0.1% in the same month a year ago. The consumer durable sector recorded an impressive growth of 14.4% in July against a dip of 2.4% a year ago. In terms of industries, 22 out of 23 industry groups in the manufacturing sector showed positive growth during July 2018. Meanwhile, the retail inflation cooled to a 10-month low of 3.69% in August, mainly due to a fall in prices of kitchen items, including fruits and vegetables. The inflation based on Consumer Price Index stood at 4.17% in July and 2.28% in August 2017. The CPI inflation was at 3.58% in October 2017 and has remained above RBI's targeted rate of 4% since then. The RBI will be factoring in inflation data while deciding the interest rate at its next bi-monthly monetary policy meeting on 5th of October. The Election Commission is looking at the possibility of holding assembly elections in Madhya Pradesh, Mizoram, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh and Telangana together. The poll process in the 5 states could be completed by the second week of December. A senior poll functionary told PTI that going by past poll schedules, Chhattisgarh could have polls in 2 phases, while in the remaining states, the exercise could be completed in a single phase. Stepping up preparations for conducting assembly elections in Telangana, the Commission had announced on Saturday that the final voter list will be published on 8th of October. And after the new rules is published, the Commission will be legally ready to pronounce the poll schedule. Big story coming in from Jammu and Kashmir, where 2 militants have been killed in an encounter with the security forces in Sopore area of Baramulla district of Jammu and Kashmir. Security forces launched a cordon and search operation in Chinkipora near Arampura area of Sopore township in the North Kashmir district this morning after receiving intelligence input about the presence of militants in the area. The search operation turned into an encounter after the hiding militants fired upon the forces. The operation is in progress. In midday news, we'll take a very short break here. We'll be right back with more news.
But first up, one nation, one card policy.
If they are brought into the digital mode, one, public transport will not make losses. Secondly, it will be much easier for the consumers to pay, and for the corporations also it is very good because they get their cash and everything on an on-time basis. So the chances of pilferage is less.
Every system in India gets saturated and it weans away people from using them. So first we have to create a system where people are able to get convenient system, then they will adopt these digital cards.
We'll take a closer look on the new drone policy.
The policy looks good. I have no problem with its being adopted, but I see huge gaps in its implementation and monitoring.
You have to make sure that the dangers are avoided and we put it in the right direction so that we use it in a very effective manner in case of disasters and emergency.
Enter the majestic forecourt of Rashtrapati Bhavan and you'll come across the Jaipur Column. A gift to the Viceroy from Savai Madho Singh, the Maharaja of Jaipur, to commemorate the creation of the new capital. The 145-meter high column is crowned with 6 pointed crystal stars on a bronze lotus, and inside the stone shaft runs a steel tube which weighs a little more than 5 tons. The base of the column has text conceived by Lord Irwin and Sir Edwin Lutyens inscribed on it.
Welcome back after the break. Finance Minister Arun Jaitley has slammed liquor baron Vijay Mallya's claims that he met him with an offer of settlement before leaving for London. The Finance Minister said that nothing can be further from the truth as the claims are factually false. In a sharp rebuttal, Arun Jaitley also said that since 2014, he has never given any appointment to Vijay Mallya, either at his office or at his residence. Arun Jaitley demanded that Vijay Mallya come out with the facts.
Where he claims to have met me with an offer of settlement. Nothing could be further than from truth. I have never given him an appointment, never at my office, never at my residence, nor have I ever offered to meet him. I do remember on one occasion, he misused his privilege as a member of Rajya Sabha. And while I was walking out of the Rajya Sabha to my room, he paced up towards me in the Parliament building and suggested that he was going to make some offer of settlement. I did not even bother to get any detail from him. I curtly told him that he must go and make it to the bankers because I was fully aware that he had been bluffing on several occasions in the past and had no intention of paying back the bankers' money. Besides this one sentence exchanged, where he literally barged on to me while I was walking and tried to make some offer or a suggestion which I refused to entertain. There is no question of my having ever met him, spoken to him. I even did not receive any paper from him at that time. And therefore, to convey an impression that he met me with an offer of settlement, well, if this is what he is referring to, then I'm sure this is factually not correct. He must come out with the complete facts.
Meanwhile, a UK court has fixed 10th of December as the date to deliver its verdict on whether Vijay Mallya can be extradited to India. The charges against him is of fraud and money laundering amounting to around 9,000 crore rupees. Vijay Mallya has now been bailed to appear before the court on 10th of December, marking the conclusion of the year-long extradition trial, which opened on 4th of December last year. External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj has embarked on a 2-day visit to Russia. Sushma Swaraj will co-chair the 23rd India-Russia Intergovernmental Commission on Technical and Economic Cooperation with the Deputy Prime Minister of Russia. The commission is a standing body which annually meets and reviews the ongoing activities of bilateral cooperation in the fields of bilateral trade and investment, science and technology, culture and other issues of mutual interest. Sushma Swaraj's visit to Moscow comes ahead of Russian President Vladimir Putin's visit to India next month for the annual bilateral summit with Prime Minister Narendra Modi. And now a look at the stories that are likely to unfold in the day ahead. The Supreme Court will deliver a verdict on petitions seeking restorations of the stringency of Section 498A of the IPC. The section provides for arrest of the husband and his relatives on the complaint of a wife alleging the cruelty meted out to her because of dowry. The top court had reserved its verdict on the matter on 23rd of April. Last year, the two-judge bench of the Supreme Court had stopped immediate arrest of the accused under the anti-dowry harassment law, saying that the law was being misused by women. A bus service will be launched between Nepal's capital Kathmandu and Bodh Gaya today. Nepal Minister for Physical Planning and Transport Raghubir Mahaseth will flag off the bus from Swayambhu, a famous Buddhist heritage site in Kathmandu, in the presence of Indian Ambassador to Nepal Manjeev Singh Puri. The bus service between the two cities is aimed at promoting pilgrimage tourism between Nepal and India. And Delhi University students voted for the elections to the Students' Union office bearers on Wednesday, and the counting is being held at the moment. The voting was for the elections, which will decide the fate of 23 candidates who are fighting for various central panel positions in the Delhi University Students' Union, or DUSU. The major student organizations that are in the fray are NSUI, ABVP and CYSS in alliance with AISA. And the news from post-flood Kerala, with the mercury levels rising and the reports of abnormal drying up of rivers and wells, the state government has decided to conduct scientific studies on the phenomenon. Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has directed the State Council for Science, Technology and Environment to carry out studies and suggest possible solutions to the problems. A series of issues, including a soaring mercury level, unprecedented dip in water levels of rivers, sudden drying up of wells, depletion of groundwater reserves, and mass perishing of earthworms have caused widespread concern in the state. Many rivers, including Periyar, which were in spate during the days of flood, are now getting dried up, and their water levels has decreased abnormally. Besides the drying up of the wells, their caving in has also been reported from many districts. The flood had altered the topography of the land in many places, and kilometer-long cracks have been developed, especially in high-range areas of Idukki and Wayanad. All the international news now. First up, news from the United States, where more than 15 million people are under storm watches and warnings as Category 3 Hurricane Florence approaches the U.S. states of North Carolina and South Carolina. Decreasing in strength but expanding in size, Hurricane Florence is within 36 hours of making a landfall on the southeast coast, where it will unleash damaging winds and enormous amounts of rain. More than 1 million people living in the southeast coast have been ordered to evacuate. Florence is expected to be the most intense storm to strike the region in at least 25 years. A state of emergency has been declared in Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia and Maryland in preparation for the significant rainfall, flooding, storm surge and damaging winds from Florence. And as a precautionary measure, some flights will not fly in the Carolinas starting Thursday.
We're ready for our recovery and response, and we'll wait till that storm gets here. Hopefully it can be as lessened in impact as possible, but we're going to hope for the best and prepare for the worst. So clearly this storm is going to have an economic impact. We don't know how much, but right now we are concerned about the safety and security of people. We don't want to lose one North Carolina life to this storm.
All the sporting action now. India defeated arch rival Pakistan 3-1 to sail into the final of the SAF Cup. For defending champions India, Manveer Singh struck twice in the second half before Sumit Basi scored a late goal to seal the victory. Manveer scored the opener in the 49th minute, and 20 minutes later he struck again to double the scoreline. Basi then scored the third goal for India in the 83rd minute to seal the victory. India will now face Maldives in the final on Saturday, who defeated Nepal 3-0 in the first semi-final to book their place in the final. And in some more good news for India, Uday Veer Singh won the gold medal in the junior men's 25 meters pistol event at the ISSF World Shooting Championship in South Korea. Udaivir scored 587 points, including 291 points in the precision and 296 in a rapid, to clinch the gold medal in the individual competition. American Henry Liu finished second, while Lee Jae-kyun of South Korea finished third in the competition. And also in the team event, Indian trio of Rajkanwar Singh, Sandhu, Udaivir and his brother Vijay clinched the gold medal. The trio scored 1,736 points to finish on top, while China won the silver medal with 1,730 points and Korea won bronze with 1,721 points. India is now placed fourth in the medals tally with 24 medals in total, including 9 gold, 8 silver and 7 bronze medals. News from the world of badminton. Ace Indian shuttler Kidambi Srikanth has entered the quarterfinals of the Japan Open. Srikanth defeated his Chinese rival Wong Wei Qi 21-15, 21-14 in just 36 minutes to book quarterfinal berth. However, in another men's singles, HS Pranoy crashed out of the tournament after losing 14-21, 17-21 to Anthony Ginting of Indonesia. And in the women's singles, PV Sindhu lost her round of 16 match to Gao Fangji of China. PV Sindhu struggled to maintain her composure and committed a number of unforced errors in the second game as she lost 18-21, 19-21 to Gao. And India beat China 3-0 in the Group C League match to keep its hopes alive of qualifying for the knockout phase in the WSF Women's World Team Squash Championship going on in China. Sunena Kuruwila set the tone for India with a win over China's top player Lee Dong-jin. And then Tanvi Khanna increased the lead with a win over Jenny Peng 11-5, 11-5, 11-7. While in the next game, Aparajita completed the formality to make it 3-0. India will next face France in the last Group C match today, which will be the decider for India to progress for the knockout phase. The 10-day Ganesh Chaturthi festivities have begun across the country, and on the occasion, President Ramnath Kovind wished the people on the occasion. He hoped for the festival to guide the people towards a path of progress, peace, happiness and prosperity. Vice President M. Venkaiah Naidu also conducted a puja at his official residence, and on the occasion, he hoped that the festival will bring peace, prosperity and harmony in the country.
Let there be peace. Let there be prosperity for the entire humanity. That is my request and that is my wish to the Lord Ganesha. I am confident he will bestow upon all of us peace and prosperity so that we can move towards progress. I convey my best wishes on the occasion of Vinayak Chauthi today.
Prime Minister Modi also greeted people on the occasion today. And that's it in this edition of Midday News, but we leave you with the visuals of celebrations of Ganesh Chaturthi. The festival has immense significance in Maharashtra, where the famous Ganesh pandals in Mumbai are lit up in all their finery. So wishing you all a very happy Ganesh Chaturthi. Thanks so much for watching.
जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति जय देव जय देव जय देव जय देव जय मंगल मूर्ति दर्शन मात्रे मन कामना पूर्ति जय देव जय देव